This is iPulse Live for November 22nd, 2024. I'm Ashley Martinez.
And I'm Roy Cuevas. On November 11th, Lynn University hosted a special Veterans Day ceremony to honor the veterans within our Lynn community. President Kevin Ross and Dr. Robert Watson both shared the insights into the history and significance of this important day. Among the veterans recognized was iPulse reporter and United States Marine Corps Sergeant Amber Nicole Zayak.
Veterans Day 2024 was a day to honor Lynn's military heroes from Vietnam, Afghanistan, and Iraq.
United States Marine Corps Sergeant Amber Nicole Zayak.
And even for me, I served in the United States Marine Corps, and I was very happy to be recognized by President Ross among the other veterans that are part of the Lynn community.
I am Sergeant Amber Nicole Zayak at Lynn University. Today, we are celebrating Veterans Day to commemorate and honor our fallen heroes and the ones that are still present and standing today.
Dr. Robert Watson spoke about the importance of this day, recounting events and stories of other honorable veterans. President Ross recognized each veteran in the Lynn community, which was made up of students, professors, and other staff members. After the recognition, Lynn offered free lunch to all the veterans, and some stayed and had free lunch together.
Well, to tell you the truth, I celebrate all of the veterans that served during the military, but for me, it's a sad day because I lost so many friends when I was only 19, like your age when you enlisted. I feel sad for all of those young men that I served with that never got to experience what I got to experience during my lifetime.
Veterans at Lynn University are grateful that the school took the time to give recognition to each and every one of them on this very important day.
The Veterans Day celebration today was amazing. It's celebrate Veterans Day. It's celebrate all my fallen friends that couldn't make it back home. And it was good to have the school recognize this day for us. You were in the Marines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can understand this being over here and having the school recognize us.
Yes.
How different it can be.
Truly appreciate Lynn University doing this for veterans.
Yeah, definitely. It's a big thanks to Lynn University. Thanks for having us.
I am Nicole Zayak reporting for iPulse News.
Earlier this month, iPulse had the privilege of sitting down with seasoned journalist Aline Sergani, who shared her unique perspective on journalism. With over 25 years of experience, including 7 years at CBS News, Sergani offered a wealth of knowledge during her conversation with reporter Allison Wallace.
As a journalist, what kind of advice would you give for someone like me who is really passionate in the news industry and wants to succeed? What type of advice would you give to someone like that?
What I found really helpful when I was in university, like you are now, was I learned as much as I could. And not only in my classes, but especially out in the field, whether that was watching the news, reading the news, and understanding what it takes to be as professional, but as personal as possible, because it's important to remember that as a journalist, your job is not only to report the facts, but to ensure that your audience is interested in those facts.
Thank you for that advice. How would you say to make your audience more intrigued in what you're covering? How would you go about it?
I think it's really important to remember that every story should be about a person. No matter what the story is, it should be relatable to a 5-year-old, to a 90-year-old, to anybody, whether regardless of their age or their economic status. It should be relatable and understanding for anybody.
So thank you. Can you tell us what it was like your overall experience being a news anchor at CBS?
I was a news anchor at local stations, and then at CBS News, I was a correspondent. And I can tell you that along every direction, whether it was in local news or at CBS News, Newspath, I felt a tremendous responsibility to not only do the stories well, but it was a public service. Journalism is a public service, and it's a tremendous responsibility. So I try to do the best I could with that public service in being factual, punctual, and being as responsible as I could be with whatever story was being reported that day.
Speaking of stories, what would you say is the hardest story that you've had to cover being a reporter?
Well, I could tell you that there were difficult stories as it related to emotional stories, but what I found to be the most challenging was how to make a story personal when I didn't really grasp the details of that piece. For example, financial pieces might not come as naturally to me as other pieces, but it was important that we were able to tell that financial piece in a way that was compelling, not only factually, but emotionally, so that people understood how it might impact their own individual lives.
Thank you. And absolutely, I agree with that. In the news industry today, I feel personally that facts can kind of get miscommunicated. How would you tell someone like me to make sure that I give out the right factual information as fast as possible?
I think what's more important is not the speed. Of course, we have to meet deadlines and we have to ensure that the public is receiving the information as quickly as possible. But what is more important than that is to ensure that you're giving the correct information. What I had the privilege of doing was I ensured that the facts were absolutely correct. But I didn't just rely on my own reporting to do so. I had a producer, I had an editor, and if a producer or editor was not available, then I would rely on perhaps my photographer. Was that what that person said? Is that what is this how the story? And to just keep yourself honest to the facts and make sure that journalism is truly a responsibility to be factual, not just compelling, but to do so in a factual way. That's the most important thing.
Absolutely. Some great advice. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, it is my pleasure being here, and I am a big fan of iPulse. I am a big fan of the heartbeat of Lynn, and I believe that anything that can be done, that you guys will do, and I'm so proud of everything that's happening here on this campus.
Thank you so much.
I'm Allison Wallace for iPulse Live.
Lynn University's Fashion Club showcased their fall collection featuring animal prints, jackets, and layered styles. This was the club's first ever fall fashion show, and it all took place right here on campus. Reporter Lilian Carrion was there.
Hello everyone, my name is Lilian Carrion doing another iPulse report, and this time we are at Lynn Fashion Show Fall 2024. So actually, guys, is it like a hard thing to be a DJ? Like, it has always been like one of my dreams.
It's the world's hardest thing. There's nothing harder than that. A doctor, surgeon, you could be a lawyer. It's this. This is the hardest thing.
Like, this is the drill?
Yes, this is. I trained years for this.
Oh my God. Well, I need to learn something. Like, teach me. So, like, can you explain, like, how does it work?
All right, look. Take this knob. Just turn it. Watch. Trust me.
Me?
Good. Yeah, turn to the left.
This way?
Slowly.
Okay.
Turn it back up.
Okay. Oh, okay.
There you go. Now you're a DJ.
Okay, I'm here with Lexi. Lexi, you're the president of Lynn Fashion Club. Tell me everything about the fashion show, what we need to know.
All right, so this is our first ever fall fashion show. We always do one in the spring, but this year we want to do another one to promote the club and hopefully get people to join FRA in the spring. So this one's going to feature lots of layers, lots of jackets, and even though it's Florida, you can still dress for the season. Lots of pops of color and animal print because that's in right now.
Oh, I love that. Wait, tell me about your outfit, like the colors, everything is like giving fall.
So I wanted to kind of follow the models, so I'm wearing a leather blazer, which you will see in the show. Burgundy is just a fall color, so we're going with it, and then my shoes are lace because that's what is also in right now.
I love that. What's like your favorite part about like organizing? Because I know that it can be a little bit stressful, but what was like the best part of this?
Yeah, definitely this week drove me a little crazy, but I'm so excited to see it all come together, and I'm just excited to see that it's all student run. I'm excited to see like the models and all the students here that are here to support it, and that it was student-led itself. So.
So Peter, I heard it was about layering the show, right? Tell me about yours because it's my favorite so far.
So I love my mixed metals. I've always wanted to do full stacking, full mixed metals and everything. So I went and got all my bracelets and everything because fall is about layering. So doing a little fall layering myself with all of the mixed metals I got going on.
I love that. My name is Ilian Carreon for iPulse Live.
Next Thursday, millions of people across the United States will come together to give thanks and enjoy a traditional feast on Thanksgiving. My co-anchor, Roy Cuevas, takes us on a journey through the holiday's rich history, cherished traditions, and the stories that make it a true celebration of gratitude.
Thanksgiving is just around the corner. On Thursday, millions of Americans will come together to celebrate. But how much do we really know about this holiday? We spoke with Professor Daniel Ketcher to explore the history, traditions, and unique elements that make Thanksgiving an important part of American culture.
The official history behind the beginning of Thanksgiving takes us back to approximately 1621, where the settlers of the Plymouth colony in present-day Massachusetts celebrated their survival of a harsh winter with the assistance of the Wampanoag indigenous community that was nearby.
Every year, Americans consume more than 46 million turkeys on Thanksgiving. But before these turkeys meet their fate, another notable tradition is the annual presidential turkey pardon. This custom, where the president symbolically spares a turkey from becoming dinner, began with President George H.W. Bush in 1989. In homes across the United States, families will gather to share stories, laughter, and moments of connection.
Thanksgiving as an official national holiday was proclaimed by President Lincoln in October of 1863. This was in the deepest, kind of darkest heat of the Civil War, when Americans were literally at each other's throats over what the future of this country should look like.
The term Black Friday is closely linked to Thanksgiving. It was first used in Philadelphia, referring to the chaotic shopping crowds on the Friday after Thanksgiving.
In 1970, the National Day of Mourning event was established by the United American Indians of New England to remind the nation of the rest of the history that preceded, along with this interaction between the new colonists and indigenous communities across the United States.
One of the most iconic Thanksgiving traditions is the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York City, which started in 1924. The parade captures the nation's attention with its giant balloons, marching bands, celebrity performances, and floats. Other cities like Chicago and Detroit also have significant parades that draw large crowds and TV audiences. Thanksgiving is more than just a holiday. It's a time for reflection, celebration, and gratitude. The legacy of this holiday continues to grow, bringing people together across the country. Wishing you a happy Thanksgiving, I'm Roy Cuevas, reporting for iPulse Live. Now it's time for our special iPulse segment, Live with Lisette. In this week's episode, Lisette discusses the frustration of people not cleaning up after themselves. She shares her thoughts on how it is a common issue on campus, as well as something she notices in public places.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of Life with Lisette. Can we just talk about messy students? There are so many times on campus where I see stacked plates on top of one another, not in the cafeteria. This photo was taken by the vending machine in the ASAF building, and as you can see, there are cups and plates stacked on top of one another on what looks like a stool. First off, I don't care that you don't eat in the cafeteria, but for the love of God, clean up after yourself. The walk from the ASAF building to the cafeteria is not even that long of a walk. It's less than a 5-minute walk. At most, you're walking 2 minutes. And can you imagine if a student and a parent were touring Lynn, this beautiful campus, and they see that? It looks bad for Lynn, and it looks bad for us college students. And you know what makes this even sadder? Is you don't have to wash your plate. You literally take your plate or cup and put it in the tray rack in the cafeteria. And then whoever's working there literally cleans it for you and sanitizes it and does whatever they need to do. So during my junior year of high school, I actually went on a leadership training as part of my high school youth group. And let me tell you, they did not spoil us, okay? We had breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day. And we had to take our plate and wash it ourselves. We went to the kitchen, soap and water. We used this like machine, and we did it ourselves. And it was very humbling, actually, and I really did enjoy it. But you know what the first thing people say is when they don't clean up after themselves is it's their job to clean up, meaning it's the employee's job to clean up after you. Okay, no, it's not. You got to do your part as well. This is just called being kind. The bare minimum is meeting them halfway and at least organizing it and taking it to where it's supposed to go. Take your plate on Lynn and clean up after yourself and take it to the tray rack where it's supposed to go, please. But moving on, this isn't just a campus problem. I see it all the time in restaurants. So there'll literally be like 2 people dining, they finish eating, and almost like 20 people ate. There you just see napkins and plates and just literally scattered all around the table. And I'm not saying that the customer or people who dine there should take it to the, kitchen themselves and clean it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying make the waiter's job easier, right? When me and my friends, we go dine out, which is most of the time Chili's because we love that place, we put the plates on top of one another, we put the napkins, we set the cups in order to make the waiter's job easier because they have an extremely hard job and they don't get paid a lot. So we do this in order to try to make their life easier, but also make them less hate their job. Clean up after yourself, college students. It's a basic life skill. I learned it in kindergarten. I even remember the song, clean up, everybody clean up. May I remind you that we are 18 to 22 years old, even some of us are older. Clean up after yourself. I promise it's not hard. It's not the worst thing you're ever going to have to do at Lynn. It's not rocket science.
Now, let's take a look at the weather forecast. Noah Barclay has the latest details.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I have good news for the next 7 days if you want good weather, and this is the reason. Coming up from Canada, a cold front is coming down. It has really cooled down the top of the country and the northeastern portion of the country, and even coming down. 72, 69 over here as well. This whole area has cooled down, especially for this type of year. Yes, it's November, but it hasn't really hit the point of November/early December where you would really expect this kind of cold. And the reason for that is the cold front that's coming across really the entire portion of the country. Even over here, it is hitting the 60s. It's just a phenomenon, or at this time of year, it just seems to cool down, especially down here. The more south you get, you actually might see right here that technically this is still the hottest portion of the country because we are the most south portion of the country. So expect it when you look at a weather map. It is still going to say that we are the hottest part of the country, but in reality, it actually has cooled down here a whole lot. Moving on to the next slide, you can see here nothing on the tropics map. The reason there's nothing on the tropics map is because of that cold front that's come down. It has really limited any type of formation because it's causing the waters, not only in the Atlantic, but also the Gulf of Mexico, where we have to worry about. It has caused that to cool down. And not only has it caused tropics to cool down, it's just really caused storms in general to cool down, which you'll see in a second. The reason that it's not going to be like this for the next 7 days, again, is because of that cold front. The next 7 days, nothing is expected in terms of the tropics to actually come through, which is good news if you don't want any tropical storms. Moving on to the next slide, you can see that actually we have almost what seems to be a little bubble around here, around Florida that is. And the reason that is, once again, is because of that cold front. That one cold front really changes everything, especially for the next 7 days. It changes everything, and there's high pressures that are caused by that cold front. There's some low pressures, but those low pressures don't have enough moisture in the air because of the cold to actually cause any precipitation, which you could see not only in Florida, but all the way out to Texas, a little north of Texas, over into the Carolinas. You can actually see it snowing a little bit in the Northeast, particularly by New Jersey and Pennsylvania. That's because of that cold front. But down here, no precipitation is expected for the next while. And actually, you'll see right now in the 7-day forecast, for the next week, there's nothing expected. It's going to be 72 today, 72 tomorrow. Once we hit Monday, it's going to get back into the 80s. But the thing is, it's going to be low 80s. So yes, you won't need a fleece to keep you warm like you do right now, because it is actually really cold for Florida right now. But going on later into the week, it is expected to warm up again. That is because that cold front doesn't necessarily dissipate, because it's actually still a little cooler than you would expect it to be in Florida, of course, but it's not fully dissipated yet. It's going to take about 2 weeks for that cold front to actually really fully go through its process and dissipate. But for now, we can expect good weather, which is good news for the Lynn University men's soccer team, which right now is in the tournament. So sunny, no rain. As a matter of fact, there's no percentage of rain, as there usually would be, for at least the next 7 days because of this cold front, deflecting any possible chance for any precipitation because of that lack of moisture that it's providing. Again, I'm Noah Barclay. Thank you so much. Back to you guys.
With election season just behind us, the release of the movie The Apprentice came out at a notable time. After multiple lawsuits and criticism from President Donald Trump, the film premiered on October 11th, with Trump calling it a fake and classless film. Reporter Guilherme de Domenico reviewed it.
Hello, this is Donald Trump from Mr. Cohn. Thank you so much.
Donald who? The Apprentice was all the talk of the Cannes Film Festival in May, after it received an 8-minute standing ovation. The film depicts Trump's early years as a young, aggressive real estate businessman who was known to take advantage of his workers. It tells of his personal life, his marriage to Ivana, but it really focuses on his relationship with Roy Cohn, the controversial lawyer whose rules in life were attack, 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 and never admit defeat.
Rule 2, admit nothing, deny everything.
So, if you wonder where Trump got his confrontational demeanor, now you know.
We have a brand new campaign slogan. Let's make America great again.
Well, I like the again part.
The movie has not been very successful at the box office, despite Trump appearing countless times during the news. But speaking as someone who's actually seen the film, I truly cannot recommend it enough. Not only because I think that the actors do incredible jobs portraying these real-life people, but also because I think it's just a great history lesson on who Mr. Trump really is. I feel like that for many people in my generation, Trump felt like he simply materialized out of nowhere and suddenly became one of the most influential figures of the 21st century. But I feel like it's important for everyone to take a step back and think, okay, who is this man behind the icon? And how did he become the phenomenon that he is today? For these reasons alone, I truly cannot recommend this movie enough. This is Guilherme de Domenico signing off from iPulse Live.
In 2022, the multi-platinum artist Young Thug faced legal trouble when he and several associates were charged with multiple crimes, including murder. His lyrics dating back to 2014 were used as key evidence in the trial. The case sparked debates over First Amendment rights and self-incrimination. Recently, Young Thug reached a deal and was released on a probation. Swanson Gibson Jr. breaks down the trial.
I take full responsibility for, my crimes or my charges.
Atlanta native and Grammy-nominated rapper Young Thug, legal name Jeffrey Williams, was recently released after entering a non-negotiated plea deal. Williams and several Young Stoner Life associates were arrested in May of 2022 for conspiracy to violate RICO, the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act. YSL is a record label founded by Williams. Prosecutors claim YSL is a cover for the Young Slime Life Blood Street gang Williams associates with. The Fulton County Superior Court alleged Williams and other members of this gang were responsible for a slew of crimes, including murder and drug possession. In November of 2023, Judge Earl Glanville ruled the rapper's song lyrics to be used in court as evidence in charging Williams. There are many who tuned into the trial claiming that this is an obstruction of artistic freedom and the First Amendment. Others believe the lyrics were simply a confession of wrongdoings and an illustration of Williams' reality. After a series of arrests, home raids, and bail denials, Young Thug was sentenced to 5 years in prison and commuted to time served, ending Georgia's longest-running criminal trial. Additionally, he was given a 15-year probation, and if violated, he would have to serve a 20-year sentence. iPulse News spoke with several Lynn students to get their perspectives on the trial and Williams' freedom.
I think it's a good thing that he's free now, and no, I don't feel like it's right for the court system to use artist lyrics against them because they're just like saying what's trending right now and what people will listen to. It's not necessarily what they're doing in their real life. Sometimes it is, but yeah.
If someone is openly admitting to crimes in their lyrics, I do think that in situations like that, like you should be able to use it. Also, I just think that it's not the smartest idea for rappers to tell on themselves in their own music.
I honestly think it depends because sometimes it's kind of crazy that you're kind of exposing yourself if you are doing that kind of stuff, but at the same time, like, it makes the music good.
Young Thug has had 3 #1 albums on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and has collaborated with artists such as Drake, Future, and the legendary Elton John, catapulting his stardom. Now that he is released, his fan base hopes he can respect his probation restrictions and generate great music.
I'm excited. I think it's good that he's out, and it's been a while since he's made an album, so I know we're ready for that. And also his girlfriend, Mariah the Scientist, I know she's happy too.
I'm glad that he's free. I'm glad that he gets to be back with his family, his kids. And hopefully, he can come out and be a more, a better contributor to society.
Reporting for iPulse News, I'm Swanson Gibson Jr.
On this week's segment of Weekend Blitz, Mitchell Kale and Noah Barkley break down the biggest NFL matchups for the week ahead. Take a look.
Welcome to NFL Weekend Blitz. I'm Mitchell. He is Noah. Today we're going to bring you all the matchups this week for the NFL. Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots. Let's talk about that. What do you think about that?
Do we have to talk about that one? That's a pretty awful game.
I know it's pretty awful, but the Dolphins, they're kind of on the rise. They're slowly starting to get there.
Yeah, they won one game.
Tua, he's returning to his self. And then Achan, the fantasy GOAT, he's been saving me so many games for fantasy. So hopefully he can do it again. And the wide receivers are starting to show up. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle.
Waddle showed up for like one drive, and then after that he kind of dipped.
Well, at least he showed up more for the Raiders games than he's done in the past.
Yeah.
What do you think about Patriots and their kind of situation? I know they're kind of bad, but I believe a couple of weeks ago they were kind of good when they played the Titans.
Well, I mean, if you're not good when you're playing the Titans, you have a serious problem with your team. If, Will Levis is your starting quarterback and you can't beat Will Levis. Gerard Mayo gets a lot of hate.
Yeah.
It's his first year with a rookie quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
A rookie quarterback who's not going to win Rookie of the Year, but is really good.
Going back to what you said about playing the Titans, remember, a couple of weeks ago, Dolphins played the Titans Monday Night Football, and the Titans won.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny. One of their only 2 wins is against the Dolphins, which should not have happened, by the way. It's the classic Dolphins. But you know who is winning Rookie of the Year? Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Bo Nix.
Yeah.
He's doing some crazy things,
I know.
especially in the past couple of weeks. He's been leading the Broncos, and they're in the 7th seed. They're in the playoff picture.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can make some waves in the playoffs. Speaking of Bo Nix, they're playing the Raiders. What do you think about that?
The Raiders are going to get so destroyed.
The Raiders are going to get smoked.
Especially because the defensive line on the Broncos has been so ridiculous.
Yeah.
You could have Pat Surtain covering Jacoby Myers.
Ever since they lost Devontae Adams to your team, the Jets, I feel like they haven't been the same. They've got
story.
Brock Bowers, who's looking really good. I think the Broncos will definitely beat the Raiders. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be like 10-3.
The Broncos game, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game for the Raiders. I think they'll end up winning like 38-7.
Chiefs and Panthers. Chiefs are not that good. We saw it.
They're not going to lose to the Panthers, though.
I think they're going to lose to the Panthers.
Gosh.
I think now that ever since they lost to the Bills, they're going on the losing streak. I believe in Bryce Young. I think he'll pull through for them.
Yeah, notably clutch quarterback.
Exactly. I believe Patrick Mahomes is playing his worst year of football this year. Like his touchdown to interception ratio, not looking good for him.
I think he has 11 now.
He has more interceptions than Will Levis has.
Yeah.
And yet they're 9-1.
Yeah.
They get bailed out by the refs every time. The Panthers will pull through.
I mean, I doubt it. I think the Chiefs just win.
I think it will be 17-10 Panthers.
All right. I respect the confidence.
Yeah, I've been saying this for forever. I don't think the Chiefs are good.
Well, I don't really think they're that good either.
The Chiefs are looking like modern day New England Patriots. And I don't like that. So because of that, I think the Panthers will win and the Chiefs will lose. 17-10.
All right.
Lock it in. Yeah, that's all the games. This has been Mitchell and Noah on NFL Sunday Blitz, and back to you guys in the studio. Peace.
Yep.
And that's our broadcast for November 22nd, 2024. I'm Roy Cuevas.
And I'm Ashley Martinez. We'll return in 2 weeks with another edition of iPulse Live. Until then, you can follow us on our website at ipulsenews.com. In the meantime, stay safe and happy Thanksgiving.